Welcome to Boardman Outlook. I'm Larry Moliterno here with Brad Calhoun and Tom Costello, your Boardman Township trustees. And we have a very special guest today, Larry Wilson, who's been our road superintendent, who's actually announced that you're retiring as of June 30th of this year after how many years, Larry?
It'll be 33.
33 years of working here in Boardman, and I think we just wanted to take this episode today, I guess, and just talk a little bit about what that experience has been like for you and some of those experiences. And I'm sure things have changed an awful lot in those years.
We've changed quite a bit in the township over the 33 years that I've been here. First coming in, you know, the money wasn't that great, and we didn't have a lot, and the budget wasn't as big as it is now. A lot of different things. I can remember back when I first started, guys in the road department were making $5 an hour. I mean, that was fairly decent money at that time, and now things have changed. The guys are making quite a bit more, but and we're doing a lot more too. So you know, we're asked to do what we can, and we keep it up. You know, over the years, I've seen a lot of trustees come and go. Not to say that the board that I'm working with now isn't one of the best that I've worked with. I mean, we've had some issues over the years. I've been on both sides of the table. I've been on the union side of the table in negotiations, and now I've been on the management side of the table. So those in itself present a lot of issues that we've resolved and had problems with over the years.
I think we're very aware of your point that trustees come and go, because we really are. That's why I think the whole strategic plan and everything was really to allow the department heads to have that clear vision of where they want to take their departments.
Absolutely. I think what you guys instilled into the township when you came on board, all three of you, was that we had a part in that. You know, prior to that, even though we were there as department heads, we didn't have a lot of input. And you know, it was given to us and we just dealt with it. But now it seems to be we're working as a team, and it works a lot better for all of us. Really
well,
does.
I think it works well when we all work together.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's, you know, on your part, it's very commendable to the board now that you're able to go out and do those kind of things and work with us.
One of the things that impresses me most, you know, I've been working with you about 7 years. The thing that impresses me most about you, Larry, and I appreciate the 7 years, is the leadership you provide, not only just for Boardman, but you have a lot of history of Boardman, and you provide that to me as a newer trustee. I guess 7 years is not so new anymore, but you know, over the years, you know, like, why did this happen? Why did we do this? And it's always good to know why things are the way they are. And with your 33 years, you brought a lot of history. And of course, you know, you had a lot of different trustees, and you saw different opinions, and that was real helpful. But besides what you bring to Boardman Township, people look to you from all over the area. When we do a paving project, who's the lead? Larry Wilson. You know, he's doing between Canfield and Austintown. Just because of your expertise, your knowledge of what you're doing, and you know, you save us money when we have the joint paving project and the joint salt project.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I feel that over my years, that, you know, even though it's been in the latter part of my service to the community, I really, you know, like the fact that I was able to go out there and save the township some dollars. And like you said, both with paving and salt, we collaborated with 2 other townships to save some money on paving, which we have done over the last 3 or 4 years. And now we're starting a new collaborative last year with the county and the city of Youngstown and buying salt. And we actually were able to get a price that was actually lower than the state co-op last year. And we're going to do it again this year. We've already talked to the county and the city, and everybody's on board with trying it again this year. And we're hoping we're going to get the same results, that we're going to get a lower price.
I think they brought you in for that salt, mainly because I think everyone in maybe this whole area of the state saw, you know, you came to us once for salt and said, hey, it's going up a little bit. I think it was like $40. It was $27 or so at the time. You said it's going to maybe go up a little bit. I think we paid what, 40 to 50, yeah, somewhere in the range.
$44, I believe.
And we were like, "Are you kidding me? You want us to pay?" You know, and you said, "No, I think this is the right move." Well, it went up to $127 after you recommended us to buy that. Shortly after that, and all the other communities are calling us saying, "Can we buy some of your cheap salt?"
We got to get him to try to help us with some stock choices too.
Yeah, there you go. I wish that was the case. Yeah.
But you know, how many exactly how many miles of road do we have?
We have 144.26 miles of road, and it's.
And every time that we've ever said, if we get a call from a resident and we say, oh, you know, hey Larry, we have a resident at 234 such and such street. You know exactly what we're talking about. You know the history. You know what happened there.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we're really going to miss, is having that history.
And you know, the road department as a whole, a lot of those guys. I'll go back to what Marilyn Kenner, who's going to take over for me when I leave, said that, you know, she believes that the road department right now is a fine, well-oiled machine. And a lot of the guys know a lot of the area and have been with the township long enough. I mean, naturally we have a few new guys, which you guys have been very gracious on replacing people that have left, and I appreciate that with, you know, and to the utmost, because we need to keep filling the ranks with the township, you know, with the road department, so that we can provide this community service that we do, and it's important to me to see that that's done. So, you know, I like that.
Larry, I just think of the changes that have taken place since I've been in office the first time, and the changes in equipment even,
Absolutely.
And the cost of equipment. And I think back when I was in office in '99, how many miles of road we could pave back then, what we can do now because of the costs.
You're absolutely correct. I mean, back then it was $26 a ton for blacktop, and now we're approaching the $80 mark a ton. So it's really brought down our numbers that we can really work with, because naturally, like everybody else around the area, we've seen a loss in funding from the state, and it affects the roads. People don't realize just how much that loss in funding does affect us, because we don't have that extra money that we were able to put into the program years ago. Now, we have, in the last several years, we've been using OPWC money, Ohio Public Works, and that helps us, but only to a certain extent. You know, we really need to put that on with township dollars so that we can provide more roads paved. It's becoming essential that we do that. And I know you guys are looking at possible scenarios down the road, what you're going to ask the community to do, or, you know, put out there, and I hope that comes through. I really do.
Well, you know, even in the time that I've been around, I think we're only able to do about 25 or 30% of the amount of paving that we did with the same amount of money 7-8 years ago. And I think that, you know, with the winters that we've had, we need to be doing it at a much faster pace than that. We should really be doing about 10% of our roads every year if we really want to maintain them. And really, at the current funding level, that's just impossible.
It is, and you know, it's sad to say that, but it's true. I mean, we used to do an average of 10 miles a year, and right now, this coming in 2016, we're going to do 3.13 miles. You know, you just can't get it accomplished. Yeah,
we're not going to be able to keep up.
Exactly, because and what I explain to people at OPWC is, what they don't understand is when we go for regional points. Regional points are, you know, the significance of the project to the community in general, the valley. And I always explain to them that, you know, Boardman has become such a center of commerce that people are using our side roads just as much as they're using the main roads, like 224 and Market Street and Glenwood and things like that. They're breaking down our roads just as fast, because they're trying to find other ways around, because they still want to come to Boardman no matter what. And that's a plus for us. I see that as a mark of excellence for us, and it's something for you guys to raise your heads about and say, you know, this is great.
Well, another initiative you really started for us too, that I guess that it's just helpful to tell the community about what we're doing as well, is years ago we used to run kind of our own composting site, and that was in the $100,000 range of trying to run that. And it was probably about 7 years ago that we made the decision that particular dollar amount wasn't right anymore for Boardman. And we were just basically considering just elimination, and you came up with another solution, I think for $5,000 for the past 7 years each year, and that was to go to Elliott's and have a partnership with them, that our community can take their own things like they were doing before and drop it off at Elliott's. Elliott's then, you know, repurposes it for a variety of things and makes that available, obviously for their own product, but for $5,000. And I believe that we did give them an increase this year, because over the last few years they wanted an increase, and I think you kept saying to them, there's no money for an increase, and they kept saying, well, all right, we'll keep this partnership alive.
Right.
So we went from the $100,000 range of costs for providing a service to $5,000. So, I mean, that was just huge for us, and I really know a lot of people that appreciate that.
Right. I mean, there were some people that were a little upset about the fact that we did not have that site any longer, but once you explain to people the economics of it, they totally understand and agree with it. So that's not...
Well, and actually using Elliott's has been more user-friendly to the Boardman residents.
Absolutely.
Because it's open 7 days a week, whereas our composting area, we struggled to keep it open 5 days a week because of the overall costs.
And he actually offers more of a service because he will take grass and things like that we weren't allowed to take in our compost site because we weren't the same type of level of composting site, so it works.
I think another thing that I've come to have a better appreciation for is when the guys go out when there's snow. Because I think sometimes people get confused of which roads are county roads, which ones are state roads, which ones are the responsibility of the township. And for the most part, I think a lot of the roads like South Avenue and Southern Boulevard and such, which are in Glenwood, which are county roads, those guys, they go straight up that road, they turn around. Our guys, when they go out doing our 144 miles, there's lots of turns, lots of cul-de-sacs, lots of those kind of things, which take a lot of time.
It does take a lot of time. I mean, a normal slag run is about 3.5 to 4 hours, and then you can just about more than double that when we go out for plowing.
And then all of our main roads, when they toss all that snow right up onto the
blocks a lot of
all of our streets in and out. I mean, you're trying to get to those as fast as you can because you know that people cannot get through them with the amount of snow that they like to toss. I went out once with a drive, and I would never want to do that ever again, really, because that was not a, man, I mean, you're trying to go down that road, and they have to have a certain speed generated, obviously, to be able to get the force to take the snow, but, everyone's got their cars out there. Even though we ask them to take those cars and put them in there, certain emergencies, people are out there shoveling, so you got to slow down for every person that's near the end of their driveway, because you really don't want to add insult to injury when they're almost done and you're come sliding by, and
yeah.
we had a few friendly hellos after we did that to them.
Oh yeah.
And but it is what it is, and that was not an easy job. And when I saw the work you have to do to go in those cul-de-sacs, how many cul-de-sacs do we have?
We have over 170.
Yeah, I mean, that itself is 15 minutes in and out to 20 minutes sometimes. Yeah, just one person, small truck.
Absolutely.
And that's the hardest thing to get those big trucks through there.
It is. It's something that it comes natural. I'd be remiss if I did not say that we had basically a very dedicated workforce in the road department, and I appreciate everything that everybody does there. It makes me look good sometimes, and then again, there are times where it makes me look bad.
Smaller staff too.
Yeah, it is.
You've had in the past too.
Now, if you go back and you ask me on my history in the road department, as a laborer, I can remember Mr. Bannon having me go out and spray the snow green for St. Patrick's Day. But then I hearken back to working with the trustees at one time in 1995, and actually my first experience with Mr. Costello was sitting on a levy committee. And in 95, we were going out for a levy to save jobs. And we actually came up with a way to save one of our guys' jobs just through negotiations with the township. And we got that levy passed, and we were able to move on from there. And then I remember back in 2008 was probably one of the worst times that I experienced in my 33 years, because we actually had a layoff. And at the particular time when we did, we lost 13 people. And today, even though we're bringing our staff and trying to maintain it, we're still down 5-6 people from that 2008 layoff. And we're trying to do the best we can with that. So, those are all things that come through the years that I remember. And as a superintendent, I don't think anybody's ever had to do that in the township. And that made me really step back. And it took a toll on me at the particular time. That board of trustees took a toll on me at that particular time, but we've moved past that, and those things are in the past, and that's where they should stay, because now we're becoming a more forward and aggressive type of government, and we try to provide the best possible services we can for
It's such a balancing act that we play with the funding, folks supporting us through levies, you know, having enough of the folks working in the road department to maintain the roads as much as we need to. You know, because I don't think anyone, well, very rarely do we get a phone call when someone says, "Hey, I just want to tell you how quickly you came out and got the snow removed this year." You know, but that's human nature, and that's, you know, we all want, you know, our streets done quickly. And I know that there's been storms when, you know, our guys will go out at 3 o'clock in the morning and get started.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt we have about 500 roads in the township, so you know everybody wants their road done first, and we just don't have 500.
Well, and some of that heavy snow, what they don't realize is they clean something at 3, and when they wake up at 8, and they say, "Well, they didn't even touch my street." Well, we may have taken an inch or two off of there as we were just starting to get started. You know, another great part of your department, so I think you ought to, you know, you take another leadership role in making this happen, is our mechanics. I mean, they're really known all around, and they call Boardman when they have these major questions. And we even have one of our mechanics, Mr. Carquico. Pronounce that right? Carquito. Yeah. Okay. And he's on a national board for police vehicles, and he was so excited about that. I mean, he talks so proudly about being the mechanic and being on that board and having an influence.
And he really goes back and gives a lot of credit to the township for allowing him to be on that, and I think it's a plus for the township. Yeah, and the 3 mechanics that we do have, you know, the other 2 are working for us in the fire department, and they're stellar people. They really are. They get everything going, and they keep us moving. They really do.
And they show me things, and they say, "Well, we rebuilt this, we rebuilt that. That saved about $40,000 over the course of the year." You know, the things that we have tried to rebuild and fix.
Well, and they keep the equipment running. I mean, you know, in a snow event, we've got to have those trucks out there.
Right.
And things happen, and it's just amazing what they're able to do to keep us moving forward.
People don't realize just how much toll it takes on a truck when you're out there in sub-zero weather. And
I think one of them, even wasn't there a manhunt or something just recently, police, and one of the mechanics went out and changed a tire?
Yeah.
And I think we even got some notification from that from higher ups, you know, that they're like, there's no one that would send out a mechanic during this and get that tire changed. But all he was worried about was getting that car back on the road so that they can continue on with that manhunt.
They all take a lot of pride in what they put out on the road.
I'm impressed with just about every one of them. I mean, I haven't actually sat and met with all of them, but every one I come in contact, I'm so impressed with their dedication and their knowledge of work.
Absolutely. Well, you know, we try to, you know, we do these shows in you know, 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes, and, you know, trying to put everything that you've done for the township for 30 some years into 20 minutes is something we shouldn't even have attempted to do. But I think that we all recognize what you've done for this community, and I know for myself, coming into office 9 years ago, you were always the stabilizing force, someone I knew I could talk to, knew I could trust, and I knew that you would always do what's best for the township. And you've committed yourself to Boardman for so many years, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for your years of service and how much I appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
Well, and I'd echo that. You and I got to know each other back in the mid-'90s when I worked on some levy campaigns for the township. And then when I came into office, there were a number of people that were so kind to me and educated me along the way, and you were always one of those. And I could count on your sage wisdom, and I want to tell you I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I ditto everything they said. I mean, you were that historian, and you were that guy that, you know, you could say anything, even about different departments, and you'd give your 2 cents, because sometimes you'd say, well, I remember on this police chief, you know, 10 years ago, and this fire guy, you know, and you would give that honest assessment, and I appreciate that, and I think you helped me learn a lot about what it is your department does. And you know, you are an ambassador for that program and for those men that work there, and for township. I mean, I can't mention anything that we've ever asked. Can you go to this neighborhood thing? Can you help us on this? Go to this levy discussion, and you were the first one there, and we appreciate everything.
I try. I mean, you know, it's easy when you have people that you work with, such as yourselves, to go out and put yourself out in front of this community, because I know the dedication is coming from the other side as well as mine. And if I have anything to say towards the end of this program, whoever is watching this program, I hope that they take into mind that in the coming years, the township is going to need a little bit of help too, and that with my dedication over the years, I hope that they see your dedication to this community as a board, and understand that what you're putting out there to them is the truth. There's no one kidding anybody about what the finances are, and I hope that they take you serious about what you need to do for the future, because this township can be even greater than it is now, as long as the people are willing to help you guys provide that.
We appreciate that. And if anyone gets a chance, between now and the end of June, give Larry a call, send him a note, tell him how much you appreciate what he's done for the township. And we appreciate everything that you've done. And for the Boardman Township Trustees, Brad Calhoun and Tom Costello, I'm Larry Moliterno, along with our Road Superintendent Larry Wilson, and we'll talk to you next time.